Hello everyone. Today we have with us Dr. Sapna Rakesh, who is the director of IMS Ghaziabad University Courses Campus. She has recently bestowed with Rashtriya Shiksha Gaurav Puraskar by CEGR and also felicitated with Philanthropy Award by LNC Foundation. She has worked with various prestigious institutions as faculty and director. Ma'am, kindly tell us what makes the education sector for you to best to work in.
Thank you, Anjali. That's a very interesting question because there are a lot of youngsters still making choices on if they should go in education and not. Compared to past several years, the current decade is a very interesting and exciting sector for education, primarily because of two reasons. One is that there has been a spurt in the number of institutions and universities which has come across India, which means that there is a vast potential for people to come into the education sector. Second is there's a renewed interest for professional education in the country. So many people are going for the professional courses, which means that there are many jobs for to become professional educators. And third is this large ecosystem of people who are joining in university and institutions. This large ecosystem is also, very ensuring career progression for the people who will come in education. But I still feel that education is a field for a set of people, one who are, interested in studying and learning more. And second is you have to have this passion and warmth for society and specifically for the students. Because if you have these two skills combined with aptitude for research, you can definitely do very, very well in the field of education. Very well.
Okay. So, ma'am, while heading an educational institute, it is really important to have a dynamic approach towards students and faculties. So, what are your strategies for this?
Well, for students and faculty, these are two, I think, different issues. An institution is made of the students it has and the faculty it has.
Right.
How are two related, the students and faculty? And that is what our management we have a very high degree of student centricity in our current campus. We are a large, which is a multidisciplinary campus where we have this from BBA, journalism, communication, sciences, biotechnology, international business. We have this set of students in our campus. Now, we have realized that only potential of the students, a talented set of faculty rightly channelized towards their personal will be aligned with the student development is the most important aspect of running a successful ecosystem. And in that light, we have seen some success also. Now, when I say that we have seen some successes, I think about faculty and students, I'm really not able to separate between the two, because learning is a process where faculty comes to the campus, they are looking at a reservoir, learning themselves, all right, and they bring it to the students, and where from students learn, and positive loop which goes back in, which makes them learn even more. So that is one aspect of it. Another is that mentoring by the faculty for the students. And mentoring means you start from, number one, establishing a bond with the students. Number two, creating processes for the students to know themselves. That's very, very important, and that cannot happen in the learning environment. That can happen only in the mentoring environment. So faculty mentoring the students, helping them understand what are their strengths and appreciating them on strengths, creating that culture of the student and the faculty bond, and identifying the strengths of the students and continually working on the improvement, which would not come only from the meetings. So creating processes. These processes are, student-led activities wherein each student could find himself. All right, so we have about some 20-25 clubs which are student-led, where faculty doesn't play any role, but they kind of push and shape the students in understanding what they are best at, and then creating a positive, virtuous environment. Whereas there's first batch and then second batch and third batch, and the faculty and all of them are together, are working towards a goal, and in that goal, in that process, everyone becomes better than what they are. I think that's what students' role in an academic institution is. And as we move forward, I'll tell you, what all, our own humble efforts in helping people unleash themselves as faculty and students. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Great, ma'am. The education sector is gradually moving towards a digital age. So, what measures IMS UC is taking to prepare students for this?
Well, I think we understood it many years back that the future would be hybrid. It would not be only face-to-face education. So we did a couple of important things which have prepared us to handle the current pandemic situation and the of the education to a great extent. One of this, the first and the having a great IT infrastructure, because without you cannot really build anything in information technology. All of our students have laptops, compulsory part of the study material at the campus. Faculty has their own machines. Entire institution runs good quality Wi-Fi with the help of Cisco, and very good bandwidth. I think those things that's the digital infrastructure we have prepared for ourselves. And the second thing, when I do hybrid education, we have laid a lot of focus on one was doing online courses and online teaching. Okay, which on a face-to-face campus like us not be very, very long term. But despite this, from past 3 years, we have been trying to use flipped education in a big mode. So our faculty has a mandate to have flip schedules for all the classes that they have. They have these flip videos which our students are expected to see before they come to the class, and the classes have become more discussion based. IMS UC might be the only institution which has our own over 1,000 videos, and which we've shared on an open platform like YouTube, and many more subscribers. The subscribers are not only our own students. We are, in a way, it is also our social responsibility. So we have several thousand students who are subscribing these channels, and we get millions of views every month. So that's second aspect of it, creating content. So this is video content. Apart from this, we have a reservoir. Okay, now what does this reservoir mean? This reservoir is specifically for our students, and this is not on the open platform. In this reservoir, our faculty has created a host of content related to their subjects, right? And all these not plagiarized content, which is aboriginal from IMS Ghaziabad University Courses Campus faculty, it is put in the reservoir, and students are given access to reservoir depending on their schedules. So all these, so a very, very strong e-content, a strong e-library, a strong platform for sharing all, and equipping everyone in the value chain to be digitally connected for this delivery is what we have done. I understand these are baby steps, and there is a lot more to go. And now we are working on creating virtual reality setup for the classes, so that we can gain more from the best global faculty. Because right now we have streaming lecture. We are looking at the VR lecture, and soon we should have VR lectures also. This is about preparedness for digitization, and thank God we were so well prepared that when pandemic struck, our faculty and students were not shocked. Because the processes were already on, the content was already there, and habit of people looking into the screen and then going to the class was already established in the campus. So I think it's been a great help for us.
Great. So students were already prepared for the online education thing. Great.
Absolutely.
So what would you like people to know about your college that they may not know till now?
Well, I think that's a very interesting question. I can go on and on for hours. Because one thing that I want to share is that IMS Ghaziabad University Courses Campus, we've been ranked very well by different rankings, including Times of India, uh, ranked 9th all over India, second best in placements. So that generally people know, because it was in the media. But what people do not know is the amazing learning culture that this institution has. We are one institution which is completely learner centric, and in the learning methods at IMS Ghaziabad, we have been able to create a system where learning beyond the classroom is as important as the learning inside the classroom. So, despite the fact that there is a great academic learning culture in the institution, people will be surprised to know that our students' leadership comes very early in them. Because the moment they come into the campus, the number of opportunities that they get to participate and organize activities in about 25 live clubs in the institution is amazing. Number one. Number two, we have a culture where we do not rank people in good, average, and best. We tell all the students that there is a best in you, and you are in this campus to find that best in you. So you could be in a BBA program or BCA program or MIB program. We never cast students in a standard, standard suit. We never tell them that this is what you should be. We give them opportunity to explore and find themselves. And these processes of giving them all these opportunities has prepared such diverse set of leaders in our campus that by the time they pass out, they know where they are going, and many of them get very good placements. Many of them get admissions in the best of the best B schools. Many of them go in entrepreneurship at such a early age, immediately after doing their BBA, BCA, BSc, PGMC, Masters of International Business program from our campus. So this is one unique thing about IMS Ghaziabad, that out of the class learning is as important as inside the class learning. The third thing is that we are a very diverse campus. Unlike other graduate campuses which are generally localized, IMS Ghaziabad has students from more than 26 states of the nation. We have students from south, west, east, and this diversity. One is there is a discipline diversity. Another is there is a student diversity, and we have about 40-45% women and about 50-55% men, which is unlike many other professional colleges. So we have a very good gender diversity in the campus. All this together, that has given kind of a confidence to our students and faculty to handle life, that the kind of programs they organize and the activities they are able to do, I think they are amazing. So one has to peep inside IMS Ghaziabad University Courses campus to understand this vibrant culture of individual development. So we do it as an institute, but there's a lot of impact on each student. So this is something, which I think is very, very different and unique about IMS Ghaziabad University Courses campus.
Okay. Ma'am, recently National Education Policy has laid out a grand vision about what education would be like over 50 years. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think we just when we looked into the draft of the new education policy, especially for the higher education, I think India's landscape of skill development, generating employability and generating responsible citizens for the country is going to change in the right way, not only in the big way, in the right way also. Policy has several aspects which were unaddressed and which have been now rightly addressed. First is, the focus on the skill development of the student right from the school. I think that has been a challenge for the higher education. From the school itself, the students were so focused on the high stake examination that even in graduation, they were more looking at the degrees more. Now, as high stake examinations will become low stake, I think there'll be a renewed focus on the skills of the students right from the school, which means that there'll be a lot of focus on the internship at the higher education level, and people will take the internship seriously. See, we have a culture of giving a lot of life projects to the students, internships to the students, but we have realized that the society does not support internships the way they should be supported in this country, especially when you're in first year graduation, second year graduation. So out of, let us say, I have 420 students in BPA. When I tell them the moment they come inside our institution as BPA student that there is an internship, you see, out of 420, only 100 of them are able to appreciate. So it's very difficult to drill down in the mind of the students that you are not a good student if you have not done a couple of internships. Because internships, one, they give you hands-on experience. Second, they actually let you know what you actually want to do after doing your graduation. So you do 10 internships before you actually pass out, and you would exactly know what is good for you, what is not so good for you. And I think skill development is one. Second is making education modular. This was very, very important. You cannot streamline somebody. You have to have enough scope of a person exploring himself in the other subjects also. Right? So, with the new education policy, this modularity of, mixing subjects would come in education. I think that will bring a sea change in the perspective of the students because they will be able to pursue their own passion, what they like. Giving that latitude to the youngster is very, very important. What is the exit option? I think exit options are such a beautiful, nice thing. You see, at my own campus, we run, along with CCS University diploma degree courses, we run diploma courses. And when we started diploma courses, we realized that students needed an exit option. So in our institution, what we had done was we were giving them certificates. So you do, 6 certificates and then you do a diploma. So if you don't do a diploma, you at least get a certificate because you have been there, you have participated, you have given your number of hours, and therefore you should be rewarded till the extent you've been there. You should not be declared fail, right? So I think, these positive outlook towards education, and on the macro education aspect, having one standard body, standardized, graduation, graduate standards, then separating the agencies. The accreditation agency would be different from the agency, which gives you approval from the agency, which gives you grants. I think all these are very, very intelligent and forward-looking aspects of our new education policy. And overall, I think it's a great policy. Only challenge would be the implementation. Government has taken 15 years for the implementation of the policy, and which looks very, very long. Number one. Number two, because people are looking at eagerly lapping up the best practices, and I pray to Almighty and wish great luck to the people who are into the implementation. They should be able to do it as early as possible and as specifically as it has been envisioned.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have any extracurricular activities to enhance the skills of your students in your college?
Most of them. Many a time, despite the fact that we create the best, the most number of toppers from university, and we have very good results. Many a times, people, they say that how do you manage academics at IMS Ghaziabad? Beauty of IMS Ghaziabad is activities beyond the class. But we have created a system where, you see, let's say I've been telling you that we have these 20-25 clubs. Okay. So each student engages himself only in the activities in which he is interested. So on the same day, on one single day, there could be a workshop on Python, a competition on C programming, a dance competition, a painting competition, and maybe somewhere you have a makeup competition. All right, so we have the diverse. So there are 3 models on which we work. So the first model is the club model, whereas students organize a lot of club activities, and each month, we have about 50 activities because each club organizes at least 2 activities in a month. Then there is second, we have a life enrichment cell. Now this cell has got nothing to do with the clubs. This cell brings to the campus everything else which the students cannot think of. Right? So there is a limitation amongst the students. And we feel that life is much, much larger than just the domain skills and the competitions. So this cell will bring things like, new kind of meditations, somebody who's very good in yoga, somebody who would teach you how to do an excellent photography, somebody who might, teach you nail art, because clubs won't do all these things. Right? So the different amazing things in life which are not a part of the club activity, they come to the campus through the life enrichment cell. Then there is third cell, you see, which looks at the overall character development of the students. So for that, we have a different cell which will organize activities which are related to character building. All right, and so they would come forward on Ambedkar Jayanti, on 15 August, on 26 January, on Ravidas Jayanti, on gender equity, on intellectual property rights, on patents. So this is how we have bind up the extracurricular activities of our students. And believe me, and this is something very, very unique about IMS Ghaziabad, that we are able to engage our students and faculty in a manner which is completely exemplary in the light of modern higher education.
Okay, great, ma'am. Ma'am, do you have any placement cell available at your college? If yes, then what are the roles performed by that cell?
We have a placement cell.
Okay.
There are a couple of employees, and these employees, so there's a dean CRC, and there's one department faculty who's associated with them, and then he has his own staff. Now what the cell does is basically identify students who want to connect with the industry. So there is, along with this, there is a placement cell body in each course, which is the students of the particular program. These students, along with our staff, they reach out to the industry, and they are involved primarily into 3 things. First is to get the guest lectures for the campus. So each department has a mandate. Like in my campus at the post-graduation level, 30% course should be taught by the guest faculty only from industry, and in undergraduation, 15% of the course should be taught by the guest faculty. So a lot of guests would come in. That is the first thing that we do. Second thing that they have to do is to ensure that everybody who wants a live project gets a live project right from the first semester. We try to ensure that each student who is interested should get at least 4 to 6 live projects in his journey of 3 years or 2 years at the campus. So they get live projects. Then summer internship is a very, very systematic affair, because it is to be done for everyone. Summer internship is not out of choice. So they organize summer internships, and fourth, of course, they have this placement week wherein companies come and students get selected. And we have seen some very, very, early successes for our students. Like this year, our undergraduate students had highest salary of about 10 lakh rupees, which I think, for graduate is very, very good to, give them that opportunity and make them understand that after graduation also you can make life. You don't have to wait for a post-graduation to begin your career. And post-graduation also about 16 lakhs, about 16 lakhs was the highest placement, with average placements, and everybody who wants a job gets a job at IMS Ghaziabad.
Okay, so that's great that students are getting good opportunities at IMS UC campus and great placements. So, ma'am, how IMS UC is making the best efforts to keep pace with the emerging technology and to prepare students for the industry as well as entrepreneurship? I'm sure IMS UC is giving opportunity for entrepreneurship to the students.
We have we have a lot of focus on the skill of the students.
Okay.
We have a three focuses. One is to deliver hardcore academics very, very well. Second is focus on the extracurricular, so that holistically our students develop. And third is focus on the specialized skill of the student, so that they become employable. Now, what we did for that is, across the courses, we have 6 courses. Across the courses, we have a variety of diplomas, specialization diplomas we offer to our students. For instance, for the BCA course, we have a course in cybersecurity. We have a course in artificial intelligence and machine learning. We have a course on cloud computing. We have a course on Android development, and one more course. Now, these courses run parallel to the core syllabus of the university, and we change these courses. Like in BBA, we have a course in marketing and retail, banking and finance. HRV, for BBA launched last year. Then we have a course on family business and entrepreneurship. Okay. So what is happening? The students who are coming in the first year specializations do not start. We just sensitize them on all these things. In the second year, students pick up their specializations, what they want to do. And, they start attending the parallel classes, parallel workshops, parallel live internships to develop a specific skill in which, they want to make their career. Entrepreneurship has been specifically tackled in our institution. So one is we have this diploma in family business and entrepreneurship. Another is we have a startup, cell in our institution, which nurtures our students on the campus. And there have been a couple of success stories, wherein students, they register their companies right in the second year. And by the time they pass out in the final year, their companies are up and running. And many of them start making sufficient money that they don't look at the plate. So this is how, we have tried to create a startup ecosystem at IMS Ghaziabad. Very excited to know that, there is a good number of students who come from the family businesses. But they don't want to go back to the family business. They actually want to do their own startup. Okay, and because we have about 30-35% of students who come from the family businesses, who come from business families, and this course addresses their needs very, very well. And we have seen some good startups coming from the campus.
Okay, ma'am, what according to you is the meaning of failure, and how do you motivate your students to overcome this feeling?
See, Anjali, I've always said that there is no meaning of success. Okay. You never succeed, right? And success and failure is a part of life. If you are not successful today, it means you've learned some lessons and you can definitely improve yourself and do better tomorrow. So, success or failure for that matter, in my eyes, is just a journey. It's a part of the journey. And if you could start enjoying, and I always tell my students, and I tell myself also, not only the students, I tell myself also, that never be too happy for the success, because you've not learned something which people who have failed, they have learned, right? And never be too sad with the failure, because what failure teaches you today will make you successful tomorrow. And there is never an end of the road. So today you are successful, tomorrow you may fail, tomorrow you'll be successful, today you may fail. It's just a part of the journey. That's how we look at it, and we try to give it to our students in that sincerity all the time.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable time for thoughts on education. And through your advices, support, and your thoughts, students will be able to know more about IMS UC campus. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anjali. It was great interacting with you. And those are all.
Thank you.